small tits versus big tits.
When does that discourse stop?
Yeah,
Honestly?
it's never tired. It's never exhausted.
What are they? What's the issue now? We can really weigh in on this.
Yeah. I'm a fan of small tits because they always look elegant and classy in clothing. Many other people would fire back and say, actually, big tits are better because they're like the essence of femininity or feminine sexuality. There's that famous story of Serge Gainsbourg dating Bardot and then dumping her for Birkin because her tits were, quote, too scary.
I do think, there is something about huge tits that is frightening.
It's like monstrous and Freudian. But without getting, also like men with elite taste, i.e. Coastal Jews in the entertainment industry, prefer small tits because it's like a social signaling device. But all that aside, I'm not going to get into like the Schopenhauerian hair splitting. I'll say this: both big tits and small tits are good and have their place and really depend on the person.
So true.
The problem in this day and age is like a technical and circumstantial one, because clothing is so poorly made and nothing is lined or tailored. It's much harder to dress for a big breasted body. Like when you're small breasted, you could really throw anything on.
Yeah, that is true.
If clothing was more like it was in the 40s and 50s and 60s, I sound like such a boomer. I think us
40s
bigger breasted ladies could get away with a lot more and look elegant and graceful. Basically, if you're big breasted now, you have two options, like art curator tent or whore.
Yeah.
But hey, I think all women are beautiful, especially the girl listening to this.
People talk a lot about how I am small breasted. People have been making a lot of derogatory comments about my body online. But I really wouldn't, I don't know. And I've like been on birth control, so my tits have gotten like weirdly big for me, you know, and even that I was a little like, I don't know. It makes me feel fat. Sorry.
Yeah, it does. It makes you feel fat. No offense. God, I shouldn't.
Sorry. I don't know.
There's always like fat chicks chiming in the replies being like, well, it's like, no, you're just fat. The criteria for being big breasted is that when you fluctuate in weight, your breasts stay proportionately big to the rest of your body.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, this is something we've discussed. Obviously, waist to hip ratio, very important, but arm to boob ratio is one that really doesn't get talked about enough.
Yeah. This is true.
And for me, you know, I'm not an ass man. I'm not a tip man. I'm a arm girl. I love a thin.
Me too.
Arm. I think that is one of the most feminine and elegant, like.
Yeah, it looks great.
Things a woman can have.
I think it doesn't matter if you have big tits or small tits as long as you have thin arms. Yep. Then either look great. I'm personally a clavicle and leg man.
I love a nice leg too, of course. Gorgeous leggy.
And legs are really like the pinnacle of the Nietzschean hierarchy because not everyone is born with great legs. I think many more women have serviceable tits than they have good legs.
That's probably true.
It's probably true.
Serviceable. Sure. I mean,
I guess all tits are serviceable.
An amazing pair of tits and a big, huge pair of amazing tits. Yeah. That's awesome.
It's cool. Yeah.
No one can, come on. We all like that.
Yeah. But you need the total package to frame it.
But honestly, I can look at an anime girl's tits and that does it for me just as much. I'm really just drawn to like the, dimensions, to the kind of like bulbous
Globular.
form. So it doesn't matter if it's a cartoon or a real woman to me.
I was talking about this with Steven last night at Maddie's party. That
He loves big tits.
yeah, but there was like a genre of tit that was popular in the early 2000s. That was like the Pam Anderson, Carmen Electra, really fake looking implants.
Yeah.
That was also a social signaling device, and they were globular and very far spread apart.
Yeah.
So there was like a lot of like chest in the middle, like you could see like the bone of the sternum. And they don't even make those implants anymore. Now, if you go and get implants, they give you like the Dita Von Teese treatment and make them look like natural teardrops. They won't give you like the hard soccer balls.
Yeah, which I know some men prefer.
Like that one caller on our Love Line episode.
Yeah. Like some listeners to our podcast, some real sick fucks out there.
But my hypothesis, I'm like the Steve Saylor of cosmetic surgery. My hypothesis is that those were going to come back into style. And Steven was counter signaling me and saying that they won't, because surgeons just won't go there anymore because it was deemed
right
not only unaesthetic but unsafe.
They took a Hippocratic oath.
Yeah.
Or whatever it's called. Yeah. I think that's what it's
It
called.
is called the Hippocratic Oath, yeah.
Weird, it sounds like hypocritical.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if anyone's noticed that before.